I need to show you guys this clip about psych wards because it triggered the fuck out of me. So this girl is super disoriented and confused and doesn't know what's going on.
And here we are. Home sweet home, at least for now.
And this guy is gonna try and give her a needle. And she's not in the position to be doing that.
Mathis, we need you.
You're just supposed to be a blood hospital. No. No restraints. I got this.
Adele, is your blood relator? Just you. Okay.
Can you believe how nice that was? Her like treating the patient with respect and dignity because she understands why she's having that behavior. Bro, I have never seen that happen in a psych ward in my entire life. It is throw the restraints on, sedate them, give them the fucking needle whether they like it or not. There is no negotiation. There's only 4 guards. Call 12 more. I have been in psych wards. I wonder if I could count. I have never seen effective de-escalation. Ever. I remember this one time this girl comes in and she's high suicide risk. And the cops bring her in and she's terrified, like in a panic attack. She's, suicide, like she's fucked up and she's being treated like a criminal. They bring her in and they want to put her in the cell in the psych ward. And she's terrified and she does not want to do it. And she's crying hysterically. And she's like, please, I don't want to go in there. I don't want to go in there because she's scared. That's part of being in an unalive mindset is you're like afraid of yourself. And so they're like, no, we'll keep the door open. We'll keep the door open. They negotiated with her. Yeah. And what do you think they did the second they got her in that room? Slam the fucking door. And she proceeds to scream and scream and scream. So they come in and sedate her with a needle. And the whole time I am so upset and I'm trying to intervene because I'm like, all you have to do is keep the fucking door open. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? She's afraid and you've made her more afraid. She wakes up and she's still in her full street clothes and her shoes. She takes her shoelaces out and tries to choke herself. She swallows them and tries to choke. So she's in there choking. They run in there, a bunch of nurses, a bunch of security guards, rip it out of her throat and are angry and yelling at her and telling her what a stupid decision that was. And now you're gonna have even more restrictions because now we're taking away your belongings. And they went back to the desk and were like, why would she try to do that? That would never work. That's just one story. I have a billion stories of the most fucked shit. You want me to keep going? There was this Indigenous woman that came in on a stretcher. I can't even talk about this shit. Thought I'd seen fucked up shit in a psych ward until I saw how they treat Indigenous women. Bro, the most traumatizing shit I've experienced is inside of psych wards. People come to me when they're in crisis and it's a really hard dilemma for me because in my personal opinion, the last place on fucking earth you should go when you're in mental health crisis is the fucking psych. Bro, no. If you want to be safe and you want to feel safe, stay the fuck out of there. You want to feel like no one gives a fuck about you and the whole world is evil and against you and life's not living? Call 911 and tell them, hey, I'm having some crazy thoughts over here. So this woman, she comes in on a stretcher. She's like kind of sobbing, but she's like very rational and calm, and she's they're talking about how she ran away from her group home, and she's like, you don't understand, it's a horrible place, like they're evil there. She's strapped down to the stretcher, they unstrap her, they put her in like another cell, and nurses go into the room and tell her that she needs to strip naked and put the gown on in front of them. And she starts to get distraught. She starts to get very upset and she does not want to do this. And they said, you can do it the easy way or you can do it the hard way. She's getting more and more upset. And they don't look at this through an empathetic lens of, oh, she's not comfortable doing this. How about we offer to turn our backs? How about we explain to her why we do need to be in the room and this is why and da da da. No, it's she's being uncooperative. They're looking at the behavior. They're not looking at the reason why. This woman could have trauma around that type of... So anyway, and I'm so fucking angry. And I'm going up to the counter every 5 seconds. And I'm like, I'm freaking the fuck out. And they're like, you need to mind your business. And I'm like... Nurses tell her, if you don't do this, we are going to have security come in, you are going to be restrained, and you're going to be sedated, and we will do it for you. Now she is extremely upset, and she's combative. So they come in and do just that. They restrain her, they put a needle in her butt, and they fucking stripped her naked. And she woke up and was hysterically screaming and crying that she was naked. And I couldn't see in the room. I could just hear all of this going on. So I don't know if they like left her gown open or what the fuck was going on. But that, I could cry thinking about it, because at the time I was like, I will never forget that, because I know they will never forget that, because I heard like the terror and the violation in their voice. And I just... They truly become so desensitized and they don't see the human being. There was a gentleman beside me in the bed who was withdrawing off of something, and he was just shaking. He was shaking. The nurse comes in, she has to take his blood, and he is shaking. She's yelling at him because he won't stop shaking. And he's telling her, I can't stop. I'm not doing it on purpose. It's my body. I'm withdrawing. She says, if you don't stop shakings for me to take a blood sample, I will have security come in here and restrain you so I can do it. What do you think happens? Security come in with their fucking restraints, rough this guy up, throw him into a bed, and strap him down. Well, I heard a fucking grown man, like, sobbing like I've never felt... And I'm going up and I'm just begging them. I'm like, what the fuck? And like, I'm trying to report these people, but I'm mentally ill. I'm in the fucking psych ward for my own reasons. No one takes a mentally ill person seriously about a complaint they have in the psych ward. Ever. Ever. And in fact, the first story that I told you guys about the girl who tried to swallow her shoelaces, they were sitting around the desk because my bed was right in front of the desk, and they were like literally laughing about it. Like, why would she try to do that? That's so ridiculous. Like, obviously we're going to hear you choke. And they're like, ho, ho, ho. And I was trying to film them having this conversation. The guy saw me. They came over, took my phone, deleted it, said that it was like HIPAA violation or whatever the fuck. Or HIPAA? Is that even Canadian? What is it? Whatever it is. And confiscated my phone for the rest of the visit. I'm sure people have had good experiences in these institutions, and I'm sure not everyone who works there is bad, but here's a story about that. I'm in the psych ward. The doctor tells me that I'm allowed to have my metal water bottle so that I'm not using styrofoam cups over and over, because I was not going to use it as a weapon. They determined that I was stable enough that I was not going to use my metal water bottle to assault anyone or myself. The doctor leaves, the head charge nurse comes over, this little fucking, and she's like, give me that water bottle now. You're not allowed to have that. And I was like, the doctor just brought it to me. Like, the doctor said that I can have it. And she's like, no, you're not. Give it to me now or I'm calling security. And I'm like, I'm pissed. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it's my water bottle. I'm not trying to be using fucking styrofoam. People have had good experiences in psych wards, and there is some good staff out there probably. Here's a story about that. So I'm in the psych ward, and they won't let me have my reusable water bottle because they're afraid that I'm going to use it as a weapon. So the doctor determined that I was stable enough and I had no risk of assaulting myself or others with the water bottle, and gave me my water bottle back, which I was grateful for because I was pissed off that I was having to use styrofoam cups and throw them in the garbage constantly. So he gives me my water bottle back. He leaves. The charge nurse comes and says, you're not allowed to have that. Give it to me. And I was like, no, the doctor just said that I could have it. And she's like, I don't care. Give it to me. I didn't hear the doctor say that. You need to give me that water bottle. And I was like, he just gave me this, like just abusing her authority because she can and she gets off on it. You know, like all the girls in high school who decided to be a nurse, when it's like, what are you talking about? you hate